Hello wild people, welcome to AK Wild One. Are you a wannabe older hiker having trouble taking that first step into backpacking and hiking? Then you come to the right place. Today I'm going to share some advice for those who might need a little shove out the door and onto the trails. Thank you for tuning in. So I'm out here in the wilds in my Wrangell Mountain studio, and you're going to hear a hawk crying every so often, which is really cool. So every time I'm on a thru hike, I spend a lot of time on the trail thinking about older hikers, how they can be more successful on the trail in general, and how to motivate the reluctant older folks to take that first step. This year on the Arizona Trail, I came up with several tips to motivate the greenies, those just starting out. However, these tips might still resonate with you even if you're an experienced hiker. Most important tip is just to get started. Do you suffer from hiker paralysis or, to be more crass, hiker constipation? This is the assumption that you have to complete a long-distance hike like the Pacific Crest Trail, the Appalachian Trail, or the Continental Divide Trail. Yet, because the dream is so big, you have a hard time getting started. I believe it's essential to dream big, but if the big dream leads to paralysis, that's not good. Remember the Chinese proverb, the longest journey begins with a single step. To break that paralysis sometimes requires you to dial your expectations to match what's possible. Long-distance hikes like the 800-mile Arizona Trail or the 465-mile Colorado Trail might be more manageable at this time in your life. Or even a weekend trip will get you going in the right direction. It's never a waste of time to do a shorter hike. Each night you spend on the trail helps develop confidence and the skills you need for a long-distance hike. Even on a short trip, you'll learn valuable lessons like how to pitch your tent during a rainstorm, how to stay warm, how to dry out, deal with blisters, or 100 other challenges that might come your way. The important thing is to keep up the momentum and keep honing your skills. Declutter your life. Have a yard sale, partly to celebrate your decision to plan long-distance hiking and partly to help get you in the backpacking frame of mind. Sell that disco ball, your rechargeable shiatsu pillow collection, your chameleon skin cowboy boots, and that antique twister game. Wait a minute, on second thought, keep that antique twister game. That's really cool. First, by decluttering, you might make some money so you can afford all the ultralight gear you'll need. And second, you might need that money to finance the thru hike itself. It is getting more expensive, by the way. More importantly, part of getting into the backpacking mindset is to embrace simplicity. So, decluttering your life beforehand helps you adopt the right mindset. It's a simple life on the trail, after all. Eat, walk, set up camp, and sleep. You just might experience the best days of your life out on the trail, and realizing that true joy is possible with a few basic items changes your perspective for good. There is a certain joy in the morning when it takes only a few minutes to pack up everything you'll need to survive on the trail. You cook, clean up, fold your tent and your sleeping bag, and return everything to your 40 to 60 liter backpack. Most thru hikers overpack for a thru hike at first, and as their fears diminish, so does their pack weight. Bottom line, decluttering your life before a thru hike can help ease your transition into that Spartan lifestyle you'll have on the trail. Tip number 3, take care of your health. Specifically, make sure you can hear well and see well. Good vision is critical because you want to make sure you can see your hand when you're pounding in a tent stake with a rock, for example, or see that slippery rock while you're crossing a stream. If you need hearing aids, make sure you get them. One, you'll be able to hear the birds and frogs and the red-tailed hawks a lot better, and if you're hiking through the desert, you'll need to hear those rattlesnakes. Confession time. On the Arizona Trail, I encountered a rattlesnake that I couldn't hear, but luckily I barely saw it. If I hadn't seen it, I'm pretty sure I would have walked close enough that it might have struck me. That near miss motivated me to get hearing aids, which I now wear. Also, give up those bad habits that will reduce the quality of life during your elderly years, such as smoking, excessive drinking, or even far worse, lawn bowling. Tip number 4, devote most of your energy to training and a lot less toward obsessing over gear. Try not to overthink the gear. You can find out what's working for thru hikers by going to the PCT survey listed in the description. That will help you choose the major items you need for your trek. Then try them out on shorter trips to see how everything holds up. Adjust as needed, and then just go. You might find you like the Katadyn Be-Free water filter versus the Sawyer Squeeze, or you might even adjust your cooking system, but that's just part of the game. You make tweaks along the way, and sometimes you add items or discard others. You have really no way of getting it exactly right from the start. And then focus on training. Get in shape, hike as far and as much as possible, and add elevation gains. Learn to walk with your trekking poles and master your downhill footwork. Try to get halfway to your daily goal. If your goal is to hike 10 miles a day at the start of your thru hike, make sure you can hike at least 5 miles comfortably. My 5th tip is don't run with the herd on footwear. Find a shoe or boot that works for you. Finding the right shoe is one area of gear you should obsess over. When I started thru hiking, I believed ultra lone peaks were the cat's meow because everyone raved about them. I fell for the herd mentality. I convinced myself that they were the best hiking shoe out there, even though my feet ached after hiking in them. Finally, I tried Hoka Speed Goats, which was like the difference between night and day. Then I had aches hiking in those shoes, and I switched to the Merrell Moabs, and my feet again were happy. On the Arizona Trail, I started out with my mid-weight Merrell Moabs, and then switched again to my Hokas without the aftermarket foot soles. My feet were comfortable the whole trip. The bottom line, I'll never recommend a specific pair of hiking shoes or boots for you because we all have unique feet and hiking styles. It's a good idea to ignore YouTubers who try to recommend a particular brand of footwear because, again, each person's feet are different. Choosing the right footwear is up to you. Buy shoes from places that have a liberal return policy and try out 3 to 5 pairs of shoes, or until you get it right, return those shoes that are painful or don't work. If a particular pair of shoes is still comfortable after a 10-mile hike with a pack, then maybe you'll have your Cinderella moment. Tip number 6, recognize it's hard to eat healthy foods along the trail. It's not impossible, but it's hard. On a long distance hike, you wind up eating a lot of processed foods, so make sure you eat a lot of veggies and fresh fruit before your trip, during zeros, and afterward. Honestly, and I must confess again, I have a Dr. Pepper problem. I yearned for a cold Dr. Pepper while on the trail, and now I have to dial back on the sugar water. The thru hiker irony is this: while you're doing great things for your health during a thru hike, you might also be hurting yourself nutritionally. It's often hard to access healthy, good foods, and it's easy to default into eating greasy bacon cheeseburgers, buying a bag of chips and drinking a soda, or stuffing down a candy bar. Tip number 7, when you hike through a beautiful area, relish the experience. When I hiked through the Sierra, I reminded myself I probably would not pass this way again. When I hiked the north rim of the Grand Canyon on my 65th birthday, I reminded myself again, this might be the last time I would see this amazing wonder. Tip number 8, don't be afraid to rest hard. Your goal is to avoid getting injured on the trail because recovery takes longer as you age. In my humble opinion, the most important gear for an older thru hiker is the credit card, armed with the old senior discount. Also, your biggest asset is your brain, and hopefully the ability to analyze cause and effect and consequences. Sometimes you need to take a double zero because you're beat. You realize you're only competing with yourself, and you shouldn't feel bad if you need to make some decisions that keep you in your comfort zone. On the AZT, Linus and I opted to sit out a storm in Flagstaff rather than suffer on the trail. A full day spring storm dumped 12 inches of snow in the mountains and rain and snow along the plateau. The hike was going to be wet, cold, and muddy if we had stayed on the trail. We opted to take a couple of days off in Flagstaff, and when we returned to the trail, we were dry, warm, and although it was a bit muddy, we made up for lost time. This goes along with my next tip. Tip number 9, stay positive on the trail. Realize you are often miserable through hiking. Try to keep your misery ratio at no more than 50% misery and 50% happiness. Even when times are tough, try to find something along the trail, whether it's a spider web, another hiker, an opinionated raven, a sunrise that gives you delight. Try to find that something that warms up your heart. You'll hear people talk about the importance of embracing the suck. This is important for those hard moments. For me, embracing the suck means recognizing that the hard times will pass, and to take a certain solace in the struggle itself, recognizing that overcoming difficult times on the trail does lead to joy. Tip number 10, it's never about the miles, it's about the experience. I've honestly had those days where I'm only concerned about busting out the miles, and I spent a lot of time looking only 4 or 5 feet in front of me. Take time to talk to people. Camp early in a beautiful spot. Take time to notice the simple, small, beautiful things. Pay attention to your thoughts. If you're too exhausted at the end of the day to share a meal with your companions or talk to others along the trail, I would say your priorities might be just a bit skewed. Tip number 11, stay creative. Write poetry, take pictures, paint pictures on the trail. Keep a journal and share it with others. 1, you can relive your memories when you're feeling down, and 2, you can show younger people in your life that you're interesting, and you also get to leave behind a record of adventure and good living for the future generations. In my upcoming Arizona Trail documentary, I'll introduce you to a Czechoslovakian hiker who paints beautiful scenes using watercolors she carries. I'm seeing more and more people who are painting, taking photographs and videos of their experiences, and also keeping journals. I think that's a wonderful trend. This is my latest update of my tips for older hikers, and it's geared mostly to the green older hikers, but hopefully even the experienced hikers will find some value in this video. So please consider subscribing to this channel, and if you have time, please interact a bit with it by liking, sharing, posting a comment, or hitting that notifications button. That helps appease the algorithm gods and ensures my video reach the right folks. It was in 2022 that I found myself an overweight, newly retired guy contemplating hiking the Pacific Crest Trail with his wife. I thought I was fooling myself, that if lucky, I would make it 50 miles before giving up. Now, 4,000 backpacking miles later, I want to keep on pursuing adventure. My hope with this channel is to inspire others who face the same doubts and some different obstacles as I did in 2022. As always, may you find those moments that take your breath away, that you enjoyed this side of dirt a little more before you travel to the other side, and, as always, live wildly, my friends.
To answer questions I can never know. There is time, all the people You